today we are going to discuss about the acid, base and salt. This is chapter number 2 of class 10th. So now we will discuss about their topics, that what are the topics given in acid, base and salt. So firstly we will discuss about that what is acid and base, that what their basic definition, that acid and base, that what is the basic and acid and base, which release H plus ion, what which release H plus ion, that is known to be the acid, and which release OH minus ion, that are known to be the base. Acid, for an example, we can say that H2SO4, 4HCl, and in case of a base, we can take example that sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide. So basically, these H which are given, this indicate that this is an acid, and in that case is OH, which OH given that are indicating that they are base. And acid that are sour in taste, what that they are sour in taste, and base that are bitter in taste, that they are better in taste. And in case of a acid, that it changes blue litmus paper into red, and it changes red litmus paper into blue. So we basically, these are the difference between acid and base, that what are acid and base. Acid that release OH plus ion, and base which release OH minus ion. For an example, we can say that sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid, their H, these H are denoting that they are acid, and they are sour in taste, and it changes blue litmus paper into the red litmus paper. And in case of a base, that they release OH minus ion, and they are better in taste. For an example, we can say that sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide, which OH present, OH that are representing that they are base, and it changes from red litmus paper into the blue litmus paper. So now we will discuss about in separate that what is acid and what is base. Acid generally they are of two types. That one is organic acid, and second one that is a mineral acid. So we will discuss that acid. Acid, it is further divided into two parts. That first one that is a organic acid, and second one that is a mineral acid. So organic acid, what the first one that is a organic acid, and second one that is a mineral acid. That second one is a mineral acid. Organic acid that are naturally acid. Organic acid that they all are naturally acid, and in case of a mineral acid that they are synthetic acid. Synthetic acid. They release less H plus ion. They release more H plus ion. They are strong acid. They are strong acid, and they are weak acid. Weak acid. Mineral acid, that is known to be the synthetic acid. They can burn our skin because they are very strong acid. For an example, we can take that HCl, and we can say nitric acid, and in that case we can example that acidic acid. So basically the further acid is divided into two parts. The first one that is the organic acid, and second one that is the mineral acid. Organic acid that they are naturally acid, and it release less H plus ion, and in mineral acid they are synthetic acid, it release more H plus ion, and they are strong acid. For an example, we can say hydrochloride and nitric acid. And in case of organic acid, we can take an example that acidic acid, they are weak acid. And next we will discuss about the chemical property of acid, that what are the chemical property of acid. Next one we are going to discuss about the chemical property of acid. That now we are going to discuss about chemical property of acid. What chemical property of acid, that what are the chemical property of acid. In chemical property of acid, that the first chemical property, it says that when acid react with the metal, then it will be give salt plus hydrogen. This is the first property of chemical property of acid, that when acid react with the metal, then it will be give salt plus hydrogen. For an example, we can take acid that is HCl. In case of a metal, we can take in sodium. So when it react with the hydrogen hydrochloride, when react with the sodium, then it will be give salt, that is NaCl plus hydrogen. So this is the first chemical property, that when acid react with the metal, then it will be give salt plus hydrogen, that HCl will react with the sodium, then it will be give NaCl plus hydrogen. And second property of acid, chemical property, that when acid react with the metal carbonate or metal hydrocarbonate, then it will be give salt plus water plus carbon dioxide. What second property said, that when acid react with the metal carbonate or metal hydrocarbonate, then it will be give salt, water, carbon dioxide. For an example, we can say that acid, that is HCl, and metal carbonate, that is Na2CO3. So when it will react with that, then it will be give salt, that is NaCl plus H2O plus carbon dioxide. So when acid react with the metal carbonate, then it will be give salt plus hydrogen plus carbon dioxide. So this is two property, and there is more properties also. Now we will discuss about the third property of chemical property of acid. The third chemical property, that when acid react with the metal oxide, then it will be give salt plus water. For an example, we can take acid, that is HCl, when it will be react with the metal oxide, that is Na2O. So then it will be give NaCl plus water. So this is the third property of acid, chemical property of acid, that when acid react with the metal oxide, then it will be give salt plus water. And the fourth property, that is the when acid react with the base, then it will be give salt plus water. It is also known to be the neutralization reaction, and it also explains that how the formation of a salt is there. For an example, acid that is NaCl plus base, and base is Na, acid that is HCl, not NaCl. Acid that is HCl, base is NaOH. When it will be react with that, then it will be give NaCl plus water. So there is a formation of a salt NaCl, and this reaction is also known to be the neutralization reaction. So what is neutralization reaction? So basically, when acid react with the base, then there is a formation of salt plus water. This process is known to be the neutralization reaction, and by the neutralization reaction, there is a formation of a salt. So basically, these are the four chemical property of acid. That first one we have studied, that when acid react with the metal, then it will be give salt plus hydrogen. And second property, that when acid react with the metal hydrocarbonate or carbonate, then it will be give salt plus water plus carbon dioxide. And in case of third, that when acid react with the metal oxide, then it will be give salt plus water. And the fourth, that is also known to be the neutralization reaction, that when acid react with the base, then it will be give the salt plus water. So basically, these are the chemical property of acid. And now we will discuss about the chemical property of base. That what are the chemical property of base? Chemical property of base. The first property, that is the when base react with the metal. When base react with the metal, then it will be the salt plus hydrogen. That is the first property of chemical property of base, that when base will react with the metal, then it will be give salt plus hydrogen. For an example, base we can take that NaOH, plus metal, and metal we can take Zn. So it will be give H2. We will firstly separate the H2 from here. Then what is left? Na to Zn to O. Basically, this is that base react with the metal. Then there is a formation of a salt plus hydrogen. And second property that when base react with the non-metal, when base react with the non-metal, then there is a salt plus water. Salt plus water. We can take base NaOH plus non-metal. In case of non-metal, we can take CO2. So when sodium hydroxide will react with the carbon dioxide, then it will be give Na2CO3 sodium carbonate plus water. So there is only two chemical property of base. That first is when base will react with the metal, then it will be give salt plus hydrogen. And in second case, that when base will react with the non-metal, then it will be give salt plus water. These are the two property of base, chemical property. So there is only two. This is what about the chemical property of acid and base. And now we will discuss separately that what are the acid and what are the base. First, we will discuss about the no, before it we are going to discuss about the pH scale, that what is the pH scale. Before acid separate, studying the acid, that we are now going to discuss about the pH scale, that what are the pH scale. pH scale, that generally it is a simple scale in which it is started from 0 and it ends at the 14, and at the 7 it is the middle, and at the point of a 7 it is also known to be the neutralization reaction. What at the point of a 7 it is known as neutral. At 7 it is a neutral. After the 7, when we move further, then it is a increasing, or then there is a increasing order of a base. What increasing order of a base? There is a increasing order of a base. And when we move reverse from the 7, then it is a increasing order of acid. It is started from 1, we can say. That strongest acid, that the strongest acid is HCl, that hydrochloride, that is the strongest acid, and strongest base, that is the sodium hydroxide, NaOH. NaOH is the strongest base, and HCl is the strongest acid. So basically pH scale is started from 1 to 14, where the 7 is a neutral, and after the 7, whenever we will move further, then it is a increasing order of a base, and if we move reverse, then it is a increasing order of a acid. So this is what about the pH scale. There are some pH scale which we have to learn their value about it. That for an example, we can say that our saliva pH scale is 6.7, and in case of milk of magnesia, their pH scale is 10. I don't, whatever any type of acid is there, that they will be lie between 1 to 7. Any type of acid, that they all will be lie between 1 to 7. And if there is any type of a base, they will lie between the 7 to 14. So basically this is what about the pH scale. And now we will discuss about the acid, that what are the hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, in separately we will discuss. That first one we are going to discuss about HCl. That what is a HCl? That its name is hydrochloride. That what it is? It is a hydrochloride. It is the strongest acid. It is the strongest acid which it produce in our stomach. It produce in stomach. It produce the acidity. It produce the acidity in our stomach. It produced in acidity in our stomach, and their pH scale, that is 2.2 to 2.3. Their pH scale values lie between 2.2 to 2.3. And in next case, that it produced the acidity in our stomach. And second one, that is sulfuric acid, that is H2SO4, that it is known to be the king of acid and king of a chemical what? It is known to be the king of acid, king of acid, king of chemical, king of acid, king of chemical, oil of withdrawal. These all are their name. That oil of withdrawal, and it is also used in the fire extinguisher. And next one that we are talking about, HNO3, that is a nitric acid. HNO3, that is the nitric acid. Nitric acid, they are used in the harmful product. That they basically use in harmful product. What basically use uses in harmful product. For an example, we can say PNG, TNT. They are basically used in that. And for the next thing that we are talking about acid rain. That what are the acid rain? When the pH value scale is less than 5.6, then they all are known to be the acid rain. When the pH value scale is less than 5.6, then it is known to be the acid rain. And there are two acid rain. That one is HNO3 plus sulfuric acid. What nitric acid and sulfuric acid. These are the two acid rain. If the pH, what is acid rain? Basically, its definition, when the pH scale is less than 5.6, then it is known to be the acid rain. And there are two acid rain, that are the nitric acid and sulfuric acid. This is what about the acid rain. So first we have discussed about the HCl, that is hydrochloric acid, that it is the strongest acid. It produces in our stomach, that is acidity. Its pH scale, that is 2.2 to 2.3. And next one we have talked about the sulfuric acid, that it is known to be the king of acid, king of chemical, and it is also known to be the oil of vitriol. And in case of a nitric acid, that they are used in harmful products which are going to explode. That in that cases they are using that. For an example, we can say that TNG and TNT. And next one that we have discussed about the acid rain. Acid rain, that is a 5.6. If the pH value is less than 5.6, then it is known to be the acid rain. There is two type of acid rain. The first one is a nitric acid and sulfuric acid. And sodium hydroxide, that it is the strongest base. What sodium hydroxide? It is the strongest base. It is also known to be the caustic soda. That it is also known to be the caustic soda, and it is also known to be the hard soap. It is also used in this hard soap. So sodium hydroxide, it is also known to be the caustic soda, and it is a hard soap. And next one is, that is a potassium hydroxide. Potassium hydroxide, that is a soft soap. About it that. And next, and now we will discuss about the plaster of Paris and bleaching powder, about the baking soda, and what are the washing soda. These are the last topic of this chapter. So now we are going to discuss about it. So next, now we are going to discuss about the bleaching powder. That what is a bleaching powder? What bleaching powder? Bleaching powder, that is calcium hydroxide. When it reacts with the chlorine, then there is a formation of a bleaching powder, CaCO2 plus H2O. So this is known to be the bleaching powder, CaOCl2, calcium chloride, that is known to be the bleaching powder. It is known to be the bleaching powder. It is bleaching powder. It is used in the purification of water. Bleaching powder, that its uses is in the purification of water. And the next one we are going to discuss about the baking soda. That what is the baking soda? Baking soda. In case of baking soda, that NaHCO3, sodium hydrocarbonate, that is the baking soda. Their formation is NH3 plus HCl plus H2O plus CO2. Then there is a formation of NaSCO3 NH4Cl. So this is the formation of a baking soda by the chemical, that NaSCO3, that sodium hydrocarbonate, that it is known to be the baking soda. They are generally used in the bakeries. And next we will discuss about what is washing soda and plaster of Paris. That next, washing soda. That what are washing soda? Washing soda, that is Na2COC310H2O, sodium carbonate, that is the sodium hydrocarbonate, that are the baking soda, and sodium carbonate 10H2O, that is the washing soda. So sometime in exams that it asks about their water, that what are the that what number of water present, so that is the 10. So washing soda, that is Na2CO3 10H2O, and it's their uses, that it is uses for the cleaning of clothes. And next one that we are talking about, the plaster of Paris. Plaster of Paris, the last one that we are talking about, the plaster of Paris, that calcium sulfate, there is a two water, and further when it reacts, then it gives calcium sulfonate plus half H2O plus half H2O. So this is known to be the plaster of a Paris, that calcium sulfate plus half water, that it is known to be the plaster of Paris. And their calcium sulfate plus 2H2O, that it is known to be the gypsum, that it is known to be the gypsum. When gypsum reacts, then there is a formation of a plaster of Paris plus half H2O. And sometimes it asks about the what are the uses of the plaster of Paris. So basically, the plaster of Paris is in the formation of toys, is in the and it is uses is in the it's in the roof decoration, and it also uses is in the plaster. If someone bones got fractured, on that time also that the plaster is uses, and in roof decoration it is uses, and it's also uses to the formation of a toys. So this is the formation of a plaster of Paris. So the plaster of a Paris, their formation is from the gypsum. And in case of washing soda, we have to remember about their water unit, that is the 10. So like this way, our this chapter is completed. Hopefully, we will meet soon in next section. Thank you.